Hey Aries, how's it going? I am here to do your reading for December 15th through the end of the year by Ascendant. So like the last ones, I'm going to do these really quickly, will be for each ascendant. And actually, I kind of noticed that they worked also for moon signs. So let's say like Aries with Aries, and that can be an Aries ascendant or an Aries moon. Let's get started. I don't have any preamble. The only thing I'll sort of be putting into context is that Venus goes retrograde, obviously, on the 19th. And that will be happening for each of us in different solar houses. And so we'll take a look at that too. But let's get started now with Aries Sun and Aries Ascendant or Aries Moon. Okay? Overall energy, Aries Sun, Aries Ascendant or Moon for the rest of the year. Okay, very nice growth. Things that, and this like resonates really well with the reading for this past week about like finally seeing things sprout, right? Let's get the challenge energy. Okay, the challenge energy is the Eight of Wands, which means that, so there's either problems in traveling, or challenges in traveling, getting traveling organized, or actually the process of going through it. There can also be, because this is a typical Eight of Wands in the tarot, you can start to feel like you have lots of stuff coming at you. And so with this growth also, because it's like lots of different growths, and maybe you're doing like a lot of different things as opposed to just one thing. Like you're doing a little bit of tarot and a little bit of business and a little bit of cooking and a little bit of that. So it can kind of feel like there's lots of movement, like positive movement, but all over the place. And it can make you feel like a little bit, what's the word? Shit, it's coming to me in Italian. Sorry, like destructured, like in all over the places. Fractal is the word I wanted to use. Here's your lesson. Krishna, devotion. So it says, trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. So, again, you might start, and this is also traveling, right? Like moving down the path. So you may, especially if you were like sort of having doubts about where you are on your spiritual path, or like has these past few years, past few months, whatever, been contributing to your growth as a spiritual being, or even as your like what it is that you're supposed to be doing in your life. Are you moving forward in the path? Like you might not feel like you've made a lot of headway or gone very far in your journey. And what this is suggesting is that actually, yes, you have, and you will start seeing signs of that, of how far you actually have come thus far. So even though you may feel like this is a long, hard uphill battle, or uphill climb, excuse me, that your commitment has been recognized, right? And it's interesting because the Sabian for that, the Venus retrograde is climbing up a mountain, or a pilgrimage up the mountain. So I think this for us will be very important, especially since it's in our 10th house of recognition and honors, that I really feel like you're going to start to see fruits of your labor, like where you've been putting your energy, where you've been putting your passion, where you've been putting your own sense of devotion. You're going to start seeing some positive signs of that. And remember, like this is all underwater here, so it's been growing. You just maybe haven't seen it. And now it's above the waterline. And again, it also seems like it might seem smaller, because you could only see one piece of it, but you've done a tremendous amount of work on the roots and planting the right roots and healthy roots. So that to me is very exciting. Let's get your advice. Of course, that to me is very exciting because I too am both an Aries Sun, Ascendant, and Moon. I'll take that. So here's your advice card, the Nine of Cups. Your wishes come true, concerns fade away, a love of life. So I really feel like this will be an enjoyable time for us between the 15th and the 31st. Like sort of revel in your growth, revel in how far you come, celebrate it. We very rarely celebrate what we've accomplished, and we're always paying attention to how much And that's kind of what this is. We're always paying attention to how much further we have to go as opposed to celebrating how far we've come. And so I really feel like, especially with this 9 of Cups here and these things, take a moment out to celebrate yourself and how much work you've done, how far you've come in just 1 year, because I'm sure most of you have made some great headway. Oh, nice. And then we have this swan spirit, time for a deep dive. And that's this sort of like beautiful, elegant energy here, together with this 9 of Cups. So like really revel in and go deep into how far you've come, how much growth you've made, and there's all these sort of talking about the depths here, like how deep this has come and how far you have come and how deep the roots are planted, right? So to pay attention to that and realize that even if the only like the change that's observable is minor, that actually you have done great work at great depths. Okay? Moving on. Let's do Taurus ascendants. Okay, so Taurus ascendants. Sorry, I'm just going to note here for the timestamps so I don't have to go back and watch this whole thing again. Energy for Aries Sun, Taurus Ascendant, Taurus Moon for the rest of December. Service. Did this come out last time? I feel like it came out last time also. That really putting yourself of service, being of help to your family, being of help to someone else, maybe taking care of somebody who's not feeling well, maybe taking care of yourself that's not feeling well. This is very sort of Virgo energy. Of putting yourself at the service of others. Now let's get the challenge energy. Okay, beyond illusion. This is like a waking up and seeing things and having sort of the illusions, for lack of a better word, revealed, starting to see things for what they are, starting to maybe see even like your own purpose or see what it is that you were put on this planet to do. Your Venus retrograde, it goes retrograde in your 9th solar house. So that talks about foreigners, long distance travel, belief systems, higher education. So some of you may be thinking about going back to school. Some of you may be thinking about something to study. You may even find that by tapping into your psychic abilities, you put yourself at greater service. Let's see what your lesson is. Okay, interesting. So you have Commander Ashtar, call to action, and it says take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. So this feels to me like you may be receiving information, like I said, about kind of what it is that you're on this planet to do, how you can be of service to other people, realizing what your higher calling is and taking the lead of that, saying, okay, here's how I'm going to be of service to other people, and having them charting a new path of what it is that you want to do. Especially this call to action. These two cards here really, speak to me about like receiving a message of like, oh, okay, this is how I was born to put myself of use to others. Let's get the advice for you. Okay, 3 of Fire. Very nice. This is nice. I remember you guys got kind of a wonky one last time. This is abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time. Make long-term plans. And patience for a Taurus is not hard because they like to take their time. But I think it's interesting, it's like kind of getting the message of what it is that you can do to be of service and then figuring out how that can play out over the long term, right? And maybe one of the first steps, like I said, with this Venus retrograde in your 9th house, is about going back to school to study something else. Maybe you go and study nursing. Maybe you decide to go back to medical school. or maybe you just learned some sort of healing technique that can be of other people or can be of use to other people, family healing, psychology, stuff like that. Oh, very nice. And this is interesting because, so here you have a 20, this is a 21, here we have a 3, and if we blend these, they become a 3, you know, so it's very kind of connected, this reading. And what this says here is Dove Spirit, to be peace, right? And this talks about taking charge, lead by example, walk your talk. So if you have some kind of family situation going on right now where everybody else is kind of like freaking out, your job in that situation is to embody the peace that you want to see in other people. Be the one that they look up to, be the sort of rod in the storm. And that's how you can kind of be of assistance to others, is by embodying that sense of calm as opposed to participating in what's going on with everybody else. Okay? Let's do Gemini. That doesn't go there. Okay, 11. So Gemini Ascendant, overall energy for Aries Sun, Gemini Ascendant, Gemini Moon for the rest of December. Joy. Didn't you get this last time? The Gemini is always having fun. All right, not much to say there. Party time, life is enjoyable. You have like a few more weeks of the North Node in your first, well, if you're a Gemini Ascendant, it will be in your first house. Before it switches into Taurus. So, you know, kind of like enjoy this period of lessons learned. There's a Gemini full moon. Nice energy for you. Let's get the challenge. Okay. 8 of Swords. Feeling guilty about feeling good? Or is this sort of just like the Gemini double personality? Like one minute we're here, 1 minute we're there. And sort of oscillating back and forth between the two. Let's see what the lesson is here. And it's interesting, you know, because they're both like, you see how there's flowers in both of these? Like there's all these flowers here, but she can't see them because she's in this dark space. And this kind of resonates also with the weekly reading this week about like, be careful where you put your thought energy because it's manifesting very quickly. So, you know, tap into this other, when you close your eyes, find the sunflowers, not the dark. Now let's get your lesson here. Okay. And there we are with the flowers again. Voice of truth. Stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. So you may, hey Zoe, you may be wanting to feel joy, but like worried about your thoughts are worrying you, your words, like something you have to say. And what this encourages you is that you have to kind of, in order to find your joy, you're going to find your joy through your truth, speaking your truth, being honest about something, saying what it is that needs to be said, as opposed to keeping it stuck inside your mind and letting it eat you from the inside. Like let the flowers go. And it could be like nice things, you know, like maybe you love somebody and you want to say it, but you're afraid of what's going to happen. You know, detach from the outcome and just say it. Say what needs to be said that will bring you joy. Okay, and here we go again. 3 of Cups. So this is your advice. 3 of Cups, which is a celebration, a wedding, graduation, or birth announcement, the need to have more fun. So Aries with Gemini, find your joy and get out of that anxious headspace. If you have something that you need to say it. Otherwise, just really, you know, take a break from stressing and enjoy this energy. Let's get your spirit animal. Okay, antelope spirit. Life is speeding up. Interesting. So if it's speeding up and that's kind of weighing on you because you have a lot of things coming at you, just roll with the punches, take it as it comes. It's all good. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed by the weight of your thoughts. And if it's also, going into that, tapping into your voice, if you have something to say, if things are moving too fast and you need to tell the person that, then tell them that. If you have too much to do at work, articulate it in a way that can be helpful. But whatever it is that you're worried about, like that you're not saying, that can be connected to things moving fast right now, having a lot of stuff coming at you, go ahead and say it, and find your joy space. This Venus retrograde is in your 8th house, which is the house of like hidden things, death, taxes, other people's money, sex, soulmates, so it's also a lot about things being hidden. The 8th house is not as hidden as much as the 12th house, but like underneath. So things from underneath bubbling up. And so this is an invitation for you to say the thing, and get it out there. Articulate it in a polite and joyous way, but definitely get it out there, because otherwise it'll be weighing on your mind. Okay, let's do Cancer. No. Okay, Cancer Ascendants. Cancer Ascendant, Cancer Moon with Aries Sun for the rest of December. Balance, okay? And there's 3 people here also, and they're all kind of grumpy. This to me also says something like you can't make everybody happy. And that's kind of their issue. That's a them issue, not a you issue. Your issue is to stay in balance, right? Not to let these people throw you off, because they're all feeling pissy, which would bring one of these it would weigh down one of the sides completely. And so it's very much your energetic job to stay centered, even if everybody else around you is like, don't give in to their energy. You think about you. Let's get the challenge here. Okay. Oh, interesting. And this one, so this is the Queen of Cups. And the challenge here is the receptivity. Now, this can mean, especially if you are a Cancer, Ascendant, or Moon, that obviously you pick up other people's energies and emotions in a strong way. So keeping with this, you're going to really want to make sure that you are careful about how open you are to other people's energies, and really make sure that you see how this like body is open and reaching and a receptacle. This one is a little bit closed. It's still open to receiving, but it needs stuff in balance, right? It's not like one single channel. It's like, I'm going to have a little of this, and then I'm going to have a little of that. But keeping in mind that you're currently surrounded by people like that. So you don't want to drink in that energy. You want to make sure that it's balance. So if you actually like work in those fields, or you do something where you take on other people's energies, make sure that you have a good process of dumping it or grounding or getting back into you, investing as much time in you as you do into other people, so that you can stay balanced. If you have sort of like a family situation going on where no one is happy, like no one is seeing the thing from the same point of view, you can try and articulate, the alternative view, or if everybody's going in one direction, say, oh, well, did we consider this? Just keep in mind that you want to stay in balance and not go too far into either position. Okay, and your lesson here is Mahatvar Babaji, which is about soul expansion. And it says, your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connections between all things. Okay, interesting. So especially, and look, these are very similar. So you need to check your energy, because you will be more receptive to other people's energies in this period. And you want to make sure that you have, this is also the violet light, right? Like the violet flames of protection. So you want to make sure that you have some sort of process for protecting yourself, or ritual, like before you start your day, do a violet flame meditation, do something like that. Make sure that your your goal is to stay as centered and balanced as possible. And this Venus retrograde for you happens in the 7th house, which is obviously the house of partnerships. So that means that there's going to be a lot of discussion about other people, in relation to you, how other people are, and they may come and try and like bring their shit to you. You can also have, seventh house is also the house of open enemies. So you may discover something about somebody that you didn't expect, that you thought, thought it was a friend, turns out to be a frenemy kind of thing. Make sure, don't let the emotions overtake you. Stay in balance. Your consciousness is expanding. So you are learning new things in order that your perception of the universe can be richer and deeper. But don't get stuck in that energetic space. Now let's get the advice. Oh, the sun. Very nice. Everybody's getting really nice cards this time. Happy outcome. Brilliant new ideas that lead to success. Have confidence in yourself. Amazing. Not much else to say there. And then let's get your spirit animal. I'm gonna go this way. Okay, cute. And there's 4, so it's 4th house, which is the Cancer house, right? Talks about a mouse, and it says tend to small things. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, right? Like if you're feeling overly emotional, or like your energy's getting too big, or like things are too much, things are happening too much, like so much is happening at one time, step back, like ground yourself by doing the small things. Do focus on what's in front of you. Do like small cooking routines or whatever, things that are tangible that you can see. That will sort of balance this enormous amount of energy that's coming at you, because you have the sun here, you have this Queen of Cups, you have this soul expansion, so you're going to be exposed to quite a bit of energy. Make sure that you have a very, like, even small, minute grounding ritual going, but when it gets to all be too much, do the little things, like little things that have very clear, solid, concrete, tangible outputs. Okay, let's see, 2157. Moving on to Virgo. Okay, Aries sun, Virgo ascendant or Virgo moon energy for December 15th to December 30th. Okay, we have the vanity card here. Now let's see how that plays out with the other ones. This can be sometimes like not doing something because you're afraid of how it's going to look, or letting people tell you things that you want to hear because they're flattering. So this card suggests to be very open and objective. Now let's see. Oh, interesting. So this is the no thingness, which this is actually like Osho's favorite card, because it is the end and beginning. There is nothing, right? So everything is possible. It's the famous Schrodinger's box. Everything is possible and nothing is possible. So within this space, you can do anything. So I want to get one more card here before I speak. And I think that's another thing. Like, make sure you have all the information first. Okay, interesting. So we have Radha here, which is a soul flame. This card very, very rarely comes out. And it says, rediscover a lost part of yourself, experience relationship harmony and healing. Now this for you, this Virgo ascendant, this Venus retrograde happens in your, oh shoot, I skipped Leo. Okay. All right. There's a sign. They'll be out of order. So sorry, going back. To me, it says, like, so if you're having, so hold on, let me just double back here. Yes, 5th house. So house of creativity, house of children, house of sort of like fun and stuff. But in this nothingness, it's like, I feel like there's a part of you that, like, something is stuck to an external articulation. And what this is saying is that in this space here, like, there's something that you're stuck to because you like the way it looks on you, or the way it makes you feel, right? And we all have these things. Obviously, this is for everyone. But what this is asking here or suggesting is that you go back to a place where those like sort of trappings, the ego trappings, don't exist. Back to this state of no thingness, like if I could do anything in the world, or if I could be anyone, or what did I want to do when that soul flame, that spark that sits in your solar plexus, that is the birthplace of creativity, right? And I feel like there's some sort of creative intuition that you're gonna have. That is different than what you may have expected. Like perhaps you were expecting to get appraisals for something that you did and they don't come, so you don't think that it's good. And I don't know why, but like tick, tick, boom is coming into my mind right now. And here it's like going back and finding a spark of creativity within you that's free of like 3D ego trappings. So like not doing something because it's going to make you look good or other people are going to appreciate it or because they want to do it, but because it's like your pure sense of who you are and who your soul is. So finding that pure expression of yourself. And it seems to have gotten, like, it says rediscover a lost part of yourself. So it's like, it's in there, but perhaps it's been buried by some behaviors or beliefs that you were partaking in because they were for other people. And this is about going back and finding that one thing that you do that's just for you. Okay, let's get the advice. Oh, very nice. The Lovers. So this is about choices. So you have two major arcanas in here, going from the 5 to the 6. And this talks about intimate relationships, carefully weigh your decisions, and good health. So it's the second time that relationships come up for you. And of course, the fifth house is kind of about affairs more than married partners. So you may, I really think it's about creativity, right? Okay, fine. This is the second time this comes up. So you have the spider spirit, which is about making your dreams come true, right? So that's what I think. It's like, and there's a 5 and a 6. So we got the 5 and the 6. So this is all tying up together. I think it's really about going back to find a creative spark that is free of any sort of, I'm doing this for my mother, I'm doing this for the money, I'm doing this for that, I'm doing this for that. And doing something, finding a new relationship with how you create based on a pure expression of your creative instincts and who you are. Okay, so now I gotta do this backwards. Sorry. Let's go back and do Leo at 2807. Okay. Leo Ascendant. Sorry, didn't mean to skip you. All right, so Aries Sun, Leo Ascendant, or Leo Moon. I even have a list here. I don't even know how that could happen. Oh, very nice. Miracle. Okay. These cards have been relatively good. You can tell we're out of the eclipse season. Let's get the challenge energy. Now this Venus retrograde is going to happen in your 6th house, which is health. Okay, it's health, day-to-day routines, your day-to-day work. Now your challenge is the 10 of Wands, so feeling overburdened, having taken on too much, but also coming to the end of something, right? Like finally getting to a place where you can almost see that it's over. Let me get your lesson here. Okay, the Faith card. Humanity and benevolence. Stay calm. Trust the good in yourself and others. See the light in the world. Okay, so maybe this miracle is this kind of fire that's going on back here, right? And you may be feeling a little bit stuck in all that you've had to do and all that you've been burdened with, either physically, professionally, financially, emotionally. How like your day-to-day life has become burdensome. And this suggests that to see the light in the world, right? Like focus on the positive, even though it seems hidden, it is there. And as I said in the weekly reading, watch your energy space, because things are manifesting so quickly in this period that you will get what you ask for. So make sure, ask for the miracle. And I'm reminded of Linda Goodman, who also was an Aries, who said, if you expect a miracle, you get it every time. All right, let's get, oh, love that. From the 10 to the 0. So this is the Fool, right? This is your advice. The Dreamer, a leap of faith, follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities. So again, this really echoes the reading for this week about something that, like, some kind of light just showing up along the way. And you see how these figures are so different, right? Like this poor guy's like bent over, can't take it anymore. And this is just like emerging like a phoenix from the flames, right? In kind of a miraculous way. So to have faith, right? Like if you're stuck in this kind of suppression area, have faith that miracles are possible, that newness is possible. And if you're like debating, what do I do? This also suggests like a change in routine. So if you have something in your day-to-day routine, which is very sixth house stuff, that needs to be changed to start a slow path to great change, right? Which is a Japanese idea of Kaizen. You make a very small change that has an enormous impact. I would say welcome adjustments to your day-to-day routines right now. Let's get the spirit animal. Okay. The groundhog spirit, time to let go, right? So there's another message that talks about change here. And your Leo is a fixed sign, so they don't really love to change their routines. But this is that, the groundhog reminds us that it's like, again, the same every single year. And patterns and habits. And so you're being invited now to make a change in your daily routine, like to literally burn down one of the wands, or maybe because look, she's coming out of like a tree, like, so wood there, so like the wands, right? Like set fire to one of these 10 things that is causing you the suppression. Go 10 to the 1, or 10 to the 0. Something needs to get dropped and needs to start over, so that you don't end up kind of stuck in an endless loop of routine. Okay, let's move on to Libra. Oh, I've written all of these wrong now. This is so weird. 33, 15, okay. So let's do Libra. Aries Sun, Libra Ascendant, Libra Moon. Overall energy, forgiveness. This is also forgiveness. So this is forgiveness of people around you, forgiveness of the universe, right? Because this story talks about a guy, like this kid having an idea of how things are supposed to play out. And they play out completely. Like, you may not get what you want, but you'll get what you need. Or you may get exactly what you asked for, but just in a different package than the way you thought it was going to look like. Either way, something comes to you, like a wish is granted here, that heals a wound. It just might not come in the form that you were expecting. All right, let's get the challenge energy. Okay, and there we have the 7 of Wands here. And this is the stress. This is kind of feeling like overloaded, 18 million things to do. You've got like dancing on a ball and a monkey's got a pin there, that could pop it at any moment. So you may be feeling like really overwhelmed right now by everything that's going on. Don't necessarily feel like you have a hand, like you can't rely on anybody. You're by yourself doing it. I feel like this is also, to look for peace. Find the forgiveness in yourself. Like, you don't have to be doing all these things. You can actually just take a moment and chill, and be at peace with yourself, or ask for help, or ask for assistance, or ask the universe to please, remove some of this energy. And again, it might not come in the way that you imagine it's going to come. But if you ask, you shall receive in this moment. Now let's get your lesson here. Okay, Gaia, Earth connection. Be mindful of the planet. Come back to Earth. Stay grounded, right? So now this is interesting because they're both on the ground, and this is like up in the air, trying to juggle a lot of things, dancing on a ball. So it's very much, you don't want to be dancing on the ball. You want to make sure that you're holding the ball, right? Caring for it. So instead of feeling like you are sort of a pawn in an insane universe, really taking control, and taking things into your own hands and finding a place of peace, as opposed to insanity. Also like taking a different relationship with the people around you there, and how you relate to them and how you expect them to relate to you also. Now let's do the advice. Okay, very nice. Star card. The advice cards have always been lovely. So happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans on the right path, right? So, I really just think it's about like getting out of this space into a more peaceful, calm, collected energy where you allow assistance to come in and help you out, to get yourself back into a more centered place where you're able to, these are like two very different contributions, to energetically and then to the rest of the world. She's able to pour her energy in from both things because she's nice, calm, centered, focused. This is kind of all over the place. So you kind of want to just like get your energy in a little bit more grounded, ask for help also. And I would say like, what of this is not necessary to be doing? What can you put down? Like also just take a break, take a nap. That's the other kind of message here. And let's get your spirit animal. Okay. Yeah, there it is. And this is a 10. So you get the frog spirit, clear out the clutter. Oh, interest. This has been happening like every reading. So here's a 7, this is a 10, and this is a 17. I love it. Clear out the clutter. What is not necessary here? What can you just dump so that you can get into a place of peace and relaxation and being, in harmony with the world around you? Okay, awesome. Let's do Scorpio. 38, Scorpio, 38. Okay, I want to shuffle the cards real quick. Okay, I'm going to take it. So Scorpio, Aries Ascendant, Aries Sun, Scorpio Ascendant, Scorpio Moon for the rest of December. The Impatience card. This is, we got this the last time I did this reading, so I get it. This means that like, you're so, I need this to happen, that you end up making it happen yourself, because we Aries can do that. We can, with our sheer will, which will be tripled down with the Scorpio energy, we can make anything happen with the sheer force of our will. However, doesn't mean we should, because the story behind this is that the guy is so impatient to see the full moon that he ends up building one himself, and he blocks out the real one. So whatever you are currently like having to force into existence, take your hands off the wheel there and let it happen naturally. Okay. And then here we have the 7, and this is about awareness, right? Also being aware of what's real and what's fake, right? And this talks about that too, right? Like he builds a fake moon blocking out the real one. So like if there's a situation that you're trying to force into existence and have to push, or have to do all the work yourself, it may be an illusion, right? And so by letting things go, by taking your hands off the wheel, whatever that is will reveal itself in due time. And I think it will come out as something different than you perhaps expected. It's like, but by being so forced on making it happen, we may not be looking at it with clear eyes. So this to me says to like let something happen so that it can reveal itself. Okay, here we go. And then you have Isis, right? Which came up in the reading this week about magic manifesting. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming a reality. Stay focused. So that's it. It's like really put your mental energy towards what it is that you want. Manifest with your mind and let things happen and reveal themselves in their own time. Don't try and force or will anything into, like into 3D manifestation. Let it happen. Let it come to you in its right time, because what's coming is might not be what you expected, but it's better, right? Or you might be worried that it's not coming. That could be another interpretation of this. You might be worried that the thing that you're trying to manifest isn't on its way, and that's the impatience. And this card here is saying, keep your mind on what it is that you want, and then let it emerge. Okay? And then here we have, so this is the advice, which is the 10 of Wands. It says, too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance, stress-related health concerns, right? And that's you trying to push things. Take the pressure off. Take the pressure off yourself and take the pressure off the energy around it. Sometimes when we push so hard, there's so much pressure on it that it can't move. It can't happen. And our energy that we're putting into it is the actual only thing that's stopping it from coming. So just like chill, keep your mind there, but do something else so that whatever this is that needs to come into form can. And then we have the Lion spirit. So another 10 here. Be generous of spirit, right? And I always think of like I went on safari and I said the lions are awesome because they do not give a shit, right? And this is like, it's Leo energy, but it's also Scorpio energy. It's just a different vibe. But the lion doesn't have to make stuff happen. It comes to him, right? And so that's kind of, or her, that's kind of the energy here. Like wherever you're pushing or trying to make things happen, just take the brakes off, chill out, relax, let things come to you. Okay, moving on to Sag. 15. Okay, Aries Sun, Sag Ascendant, or Sag Moon for the rest of December. Trickery. I always think of this as like the 7 of Swords, where it means that like someone's not being on the up and up, or we're letting people tell us what we want to hear. So this means to just like listen with objective ears. You don't have to be paranoid, but pay attention to the details. Pay attention to people's motives. Like, what do they want from you? And then we have this one, which is the Page of Pentacles. This came up in the weekly reading. right? Which also means that because this is sort of a juvenile energy, a youthful energy, but mixed with these two, you know, so if like somebody's making an offer to you that sounds too good to be true, definitely tire kick it. Like they may be saying like, oh, you know, trying to take advantage of your youthful naivete, or the assuming that you're not going to do your due diligence because you're have this like light youthful energy that's always up for adventure. And so they may like be trying to get one over, assuming that you won't follow up or you won't check on it. So just double check that like what people are offering you or what they're saying to you is real. And not an illusion, or like why they're saying it to you. Like, okay, well, do they have like, is there a reason for that? Yeah. Okay, here we go. And then we have Master Buddha. So increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. Pay attention to, just pay attention and trust your instinct. Trust that wisdom that you have. That sometimes I've noticed that Sagittarians are so on it where other people are concerned, but can like lose it for themselves. They lose some of that like sharp wisdom. They see other people, they get it for other people, but sometimes they don't see it for themselves. This is one of those times where you want to pay attention to it for yourself. The advice for a fire. Okay, this is a very nice energy. Contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, the successful completion of a project. Right? So things are still good because this advice is very nice. It's about a homecoming. It just says like keep an eye out. Right? Like don't get paranoid. Don't not enjoy the celebration or the fun or the homecoming or feeling like you're coming home to something or that things are really good, because they are. Just make sure you're tuned in to you. Okay. And then this is interesting. Then you have the make your dreams real. Okay, you know what else it could also be, now that I'm looking at all these cards together? It could also be someone telling you out of jealousy that the thing you want to do isn't possible, or that you're too young to do it, or that you don't have enough experience, or that it isn't a good idea, or that, you know, oh, it's so far away from home, like what are you going to do, or that's going to end up, it's not going to be a good balanced thing. Someone may be trying to talk you out of your dreams, your visions, these things that you think will be awesome, or this project that you have, or this new adventure that you're going to do. And so there's no need for that. Like, again, pay attention. Like, why would they say that? So like, if you have this great idea to go on some fabulous trip, or take a trip traveling home, because you want to see somebody, or let me see where it is. It's in the second house, or it's like going to be about like something of value, something you really value. If somebody tries and talks you out of it, ask yourself why they don't want you to do it, or why they do want you to do it, you know? So like, just double check people's motives, because at some point it looks like somebody's going to try and convince you to not do something you want to do, and the rest of the cards are saying you should do it. Or at the very least, trust your own intuition, not that other person's opinion. Okay? 4852. Let's do Capricorn. Okay. Aries Sun, Capricorn Ascendant, or Moon. Ah, very nice. Joy that came up for our Gemini Ascendant friends as well. And I've shuffled the deck since then, so let's get the challenge energy. Change. Oh, you don't like change, do you? But there is joy in change. Now, this Venus retrograde is in your first house, or your first solar house. Yes. If you're in a Cap ascendant. And so there maybe you're feeling a little less serious. Maybe you just kind of want to like have fun, let loose. It is your season coming up. So something to celebrate. There looks like there's some change. So like if you've been upset because things have been very stagnant, to me it also says like you can rejoice because things are going to start moving. Okay, this is our lesson. So you have Katumi, which is the cloak of wisdom, and it says you already know the answer you seek, so trust what you know. So if you have been given some proposal of change, new job, new city, new you, new haircut, new whatever, new something that's like a visible rearticulation of who you are, and you're like not sure what to do about it, go with the answer that makes you feel joy. And it says you already know the answer. Like there's no need to sort of like waffle on what it is that you want to do. Go with the thing that brings you the greatest sense of joy. Let's do your advice. Okay, Page of Fire. Oh, very nice. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity, right? So I feel like you're going to get like an interesting proposal to do something fun, do something interesting, do something that'll mix shit up. You know, there's lots of yellow here. So this is very sort of sacral chakra energy. And then let's get your spirit animal. Oh, lovely. Horse spirit. Freedom is yours. So nice. So like kind of let go, enjoy, run free, let the change happen, let it make you happy, embrace the fire. This is all very, very nice energy. So, you know, if there's an opportunity for change that maybe you've been wanting, maybe you've been hoping for, or maybe you don't want, but it's like, hey, you know what? That could actually be really cool. Embrace it. Like find that place where you feel free and happy and like, you know, wind in your hair kind of situation. Very nice. Let's move on to Aquarius. That was a brief one, but you know, when you get the answer you want, hang up, right? So let's do Aquarius. Aries Sun, Aquarius Ascendant or Moon for the rest of December. Oh, forgiveness. This came up a few signs ago. I think it was for Libra. Interesting, both air signs. Now, this can be multiple things, so I want to see the other cards. It can be like just relax, take a break, center, don't work so hard. Yeah, okay. 7 of Pentacles, right? So this can also be about, first of all, there's a child story somewhere here. So some of you may be giving birth. Some of you may have had a hard time conceiving, and that's like really weighing on you. This story is about a child who didn't have his family or lost his family, and then some weird thing happened, the storm happens, and he ends up finding an adopted family, right? And this rhino becomes his family and his protector and stuff. And so it's to kind of like forgive the universe for not giving you what you thought you deserved, or giving it to you in a different way than you expected. It's kind of about like not necessarily getting things the way you thought they were going to go, but definitely getting the things that you need. And so sometimes that takes longer, and that's what this patience is. Like they may be feeling impatient to get a family, maybe feeling impatient to find a family. And to just be aware of the pressure that the mental pressure that you're putting on that situation. Now let's get some other cards here. Okay, so Mahatma Babaji, soul expansion. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connections between all things. Now, what this could also suggest here is, especially with this card here in the middle, is that you're starting to see how things work together to create new opportunities, right? Or it's like you kind of expected it to go in a very linear way. Like, I'll start this and then 9 months later, it's going to be exactly like that. Like this, I've started this and then I expect it to happen within that time frame. And what this kind of says here, this card, is that things don't always go according to fixed plans. And you may have an opportunity to realize it's like, oh, okay, now I see why that shitty thing had to happen to put me onto this path, to make this happen, and how it could potentially turn into not necessarily what I imagined, but what I need. So kind of like putting together the pieces on why things didn't necessarily go exactly according to plan. Now let's get your advice. Okay, 9 of Swords. So this is, I'm not surprised to see this. 9 of Swords says, expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies and sleepless nights. Now this came up in the weekly reading before. Be careful of your thoughts because we're manifesting pretty quickly, for better or for worse. So as I said, this situation here should not be a cause of anxiety. Things are working together in different ways to help you. Like, the universe is conspiring in your favor. It's just not going according to the image that you have in your head, which, as we know with Aquarians, can be determinate. It's like, I expect it to go like this, and if it doesn't, I'm not going to be happy. And what this energy is saying is that's not going to happen that way right now. The thing that like you're imagining is going to go in a different way, but you will get what you need. Just not necessarily how you imagined it. Okay. And then we have this as your spirit animal, which is the panther, is to reclaim your power, because the energy that you're giving to this anxiety here, very interesting, 987, the energy that you're giving to this anxiety is draining you of the power, of the strength that you need to be able to see this situation for what it is. Okay? And then we have Pisces. So 5731. Okay. Aries Sun, Pisces Ascendant, Pisces Moon. Did this come up last time too? I feel like this came up last time. Perseverance. Interesting. Let's see the rest of the cards around it. The challenge, what's the challenge for Aries Sun Pisces? Okay, 6 of Pentacles, compromise. The 6 of Pentacles means something's out of balance. And there's 2 figures in both of these cards here. Let me get some more. I want to get the rest of them before I say anything. It's a lesson, please. Okay, it's fun. This came up in the reading, but it keeps coming up here too. Magic manifesting. Okay, so if there's some kind of situation that's out of balance, especially with another person, or you're feeling out of balance, or you're feeling like you're not getting what you're owed, and someone is telling you to give up, or you have like the little, creature on your shoulder that's telling you to not. What this is saying is to really make sure, especially with all that Pisces energy, make sure you keep your mind in a very specific headspace, because this is fast manifestation. And if you think the worst can happen. So be very mindful of your mind, but also like, don't let someone else talk you out of what you know to be true or know to be possible. Don't let someone else throw you out of balance. Someone else's words, someone else's issues, right? Don't let someone else project their issues onto you and then throw you out of balance. Because like maybe someone had an experience with something and they're like, oh no, that's terrible. Don't do it, or don't go there, or because they weren't successful at it, or because they didn't find abundance in it. Doesn't necessarily mean that it will play out in the same way for you. So here we have the 7 of Pentacles for your advice, and it says seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry, right? So if things are like stuck for the time being, it doesn't mean they're over, right? It just means that they're taking a little bit longer to blossom. And don't necessarily let other people convince you otherwise, or convince you also to ditch it, right? Like, oh, that's taking so long, just give it up. If you know, if it's right for you, then give it a moment, right? Keep your head in that space to keep manifesting it, but don't right now, and this is for the rest of December, don't let other people change your path, right? Don't let them put you on your knees. Don't let them tell you to give up. Don't let them allow you or tell you to give up your dreams, or that it's not going to happen. Or if you haven't seen results yet, then you're not going to see them ever. Yeah. Lovely. Okay. So we have, the whale spirit, which is trust the great mystery, that there's stuff moving. There are tremendous powers moving under the surface that we can't see. So for right now, again, this is not forever, but for right now, do not abandon whatever it is that you currently hold dear. Because things are working to be what they're meant to be, right? Now, that doesn't necessarily guarantee a positive outcome, but whatever situation you currently find yourself in is not done. And it is in the process of becoming what it needs to be. But if you abandon it now, it can't teach the lessons it needs to teach. It can't bring the gifts it needs to bring, right? Something, if you ditch it now, the energy doesn't balance itself, right? And so you'll end up having to do it again. So whatever it is that you've got going on that you feel is stalled and you're wanting to walk away from, don't do it just yet. We'll see what happens in time. Okay. So, if you've made it to the end of this video, wishing you a very happy rest of December, and I will see you again in the weeklies. Take care.